Welcome to Garden Wise Adventures. My name is Malie, and today we are on video number 27 of my Beginning Gardener series. Now, I kind of switched my Wednesday and my Monday videos. Mondays is usually a Beginning Gardener series, and Wednesday is just all my other videos that I like to make. But I needed to go in order, and the first video that I did was cleaning out my grow room, and there were a lot of plants that need to be planted outside. We're mid-April. It's starting to warm up a little bit. It's still at least 6 weeks before our last frost date, but there are several things that we could plant out. And today I wanted to talk to you a little bit about how you can use your garden vegetables and edible flowers as ornamentals in your landscape. So let's go to my front yard and show you my front bed and show you what we're going to plant as ornamentals and edibles. But before we go, here's what's left that needs to be planted. We've got some gorgeous kale that could definitely be used as an ornamental, but I'm still not quite sure where I'm going to put these. I'm not going to be using these as an ornamental out front because they're going to need more water and more space than I have out there. This is a yellowhorn tree. We've got some little fig cuttings that are going to be ready to plant out as soon as all the frosts are past. We've got some honeyberries that we're going to plant out shortly. More figs. And then we've got some little seedlings. These are Chinese broccoli. They're just not quite ready to go out yet. We've got some beets that are going to replace the beets that were destroyed in the frost. I planted out beet seedlings a little too early and they did not survive, so these are the replacements. And then we've got some leeks that are going to go out into the gardens a little bit later. They're just going to have to continue going in and out of the house until it's warm enough to plant these. So this is the front of my house, and this is a bed where I like to mix edibles and ornamental flowers. Now, we already have some hydrangeas back here, and we have some pansies and some bulbs. Let me show you what else we're going to plant. Now, I do have to say I am taking a risk putting these plants out here right now. The deer have gone through this bed and eaten just about everything in here. They ate most of my pansies. We have a few left over. We're going to plant some more. Luckily, they didn't touch my bulbs, other than my Dutch iris. They did eat the tops off my Dutch iris. Now, they're going to love the kale. They're going to love the snapdragons. They're going to love the chard. Hopefully, they're back up in the mountains. The snow line is receding a bit, and there seems to be a lot of greenery up there. I'm hoping they decide to stay up in the mountains right now and not come eat the stuff in my yard. But we're going to have to take the chance because these plants need to be planted out right now. And let's kind of go over what is edible in here. Now, little pansies are definitely edible. This right here is a pink Chinese celery, and I think it is absolutely gorgeous. So this is going to be out in the front yard. This is west facing. It gets sun starting about 1 p.m., but it's blazing hot sun, and I'm hoping the celery can tolerate that. We've got some blue ruffled kale, which is absolutely gorgeous. Snapdragons aren't necessarily edible, but we have those in here. We have some hydrangeas that are getting ready to come out of dormancy. And we have some really beautiful yellow chard. One of my other favorites is this purple ruffles kale. So this is going to be absolutely gorgeous. Then I usually like to mirror what I plant on the other side so we have repetition. And that's what makes it ornamental. I try not to just throw things in willy-nilly. I try to have a plan when I put them in. And hopefully this will turn out really pretty. Now, once it gets warmer, I'm going to put nasturtiums in here, and we also have my catmint. The catmint is not edible, but it is absolutely beautiful. So let's get planting and see what it looks like. Look what we found. That means the soil here is doing really well. We amended this really well last year because I knew I wanted this to be an edible and ornamental bed. So we've got another worm. We've got a lot of worms in here this year. Now, normally with plants like this, I'd be adding fertilizer to the hole, But this still has some Osmocote in it, and I've run out of fertilizer. So I'm not going to be adding fertilizer today. I will fertilize this entire bed a little bit later, once I have a chance to run to the store. Next, we'll plant some pansies. These have been outside hardening off for quite some time, so they're definitely ready to be planted. Now I'm in Utah Zone 7, and my last frost date is near the end of May. It's about May 21st. The really tender annuals I don't like to put out until the beginning of June because we can have some pretty late spring frosts. So everything that I'm planting out here right now can take temperatures down to the upper 20s, maybe the mid 20s, and they should be fine. If it's going to get any colder, I may come out and put a frost cloth over this, but I'm not really going to worry about it too much because they should do fine. The pansies that are out here right now were planted out last fall and survived all winter long, even though we hit the teens. This was definitely ready to be planted out. It's not quite root bound yet, but the roots definitely need to be moved up into a better place, and this is definitely a better place for them. Look how beautiful that is. I love the color. This is my first time growing this, so I'm not exactly sure how well it's going to do, but we're going to find out. And there it is. We've got it all planted. Now this is going to fill in really nicely. Once the pansies are finished, we'll find another flower to put in here. Or actually, maybe what I'll do is I'll put my Purple Ruffles basil in here. Purple Ruffles basil is a really good edible ornamental. Now some of the other edible ornamentals that I like is purple cabbage. That makes a gorgeous architectural look to it. It does need to be removed when it's harvest time, and the kale and the chard does not. So I really like the kale and chard better than the cabbage, but the cabbage does work. I also love strawberries. Strawberries are absolutely gorgeous, and they give you beauty all year round. You get the strawberries, you get the green foliage, and in the fall they have a beautiful red color. Some of the flowers that I love are calendulas and nasturtiums. So those are some beautiful edible ornamental flowers. Now there are so many other ornamental edibles, especially once you start getting into herbs. Herbs are absolutely beautiful, and I'll do a separate video on that because that would take a long time to cover. I love using herbs as ornamentals. Now I'd love to hear what your favorite veggies are that you use as ornamentals in your gardens, or if you've ever done that before. And if you haven't, I'd like to challenge you to try it at least once. It's a lot of fun, it's beautiful, and it's going to break stereotypes of what front yards are supposed to look like. So hopefully this video has been helpful. If it has been helpful, I hope you like, subscribe, share it with your friends, and go have a wonderful garden adventure.